really think the Cubs saved nearly $800,000 by accident? Because what was announced over the last few hours could reveal a much bigger plan than simply signing Cade Townsend. The club's first pick in the 2026 MLB draft has officially agreed to terms with Chicago, but the signing bonus immediately caught the attention of people who closely follow the front office's strategy. That money they saved could be the missing piece that allows the Cubs to lock up the rest of their draft class before the signing deadline. Stick with me until the end, because there's one detail behind this strategy that completely changes the way you should look at this story, and if you live and breathe Cubs baseball every day, make sure to subscribe to WRIGLEY Report and smash that like button. Pay close attention to the quiet financial move Jed Hoyer just pulled off. Something big could be brewing behind the scenes of this draft. The MLB draft is basically one giant financial chess match. The smartest front offices don't just focus on landing the biggest talent in the first round, they're thinking about how that signing bonus can help fund the rest of the draft class. The Chicago Cubs have built a very clear recent history of aggressively managing their bonus pool. The organization operates under the league's strict spending limit, but they consistently push the numbers right to the edge without crossing into the harsh penalty zone. For weeks, the front office quietly negotiates with agents before the draft even begins, making sure the money saved on an early pick can later be thrown at high-upside prospects who would otherwise head back to college. Plenty of teams try this approach, but the way the Cubs scouting department executes this financial game plan has become a blueprint that other clubs around baseball study. Now let me ask you something. If you had a fixed spending limit but needed to sign the best possible group of players, would you blow everything on the biggest name available? Or would you sacrifice a little bit of value at the top so you could build a much deeper, more talented draft class later on? That's the genius behind this strategy. As Cubs fans, we're not just rooting for the guys on the field, we're trusting the people managing every single dollar behind the scenes. The Chicago Cubs officially announced the signing of Cade Townsend, the right-handed pitcher out of Ole Miss, who was selected with the 23rd overall pick in the first round of the 2026 MLB draft. The team didn't release the financial details, but MLB sources confirmed through Jim Callis that Townsend agreed to a signing bonus worth $3,100,000. That's roughly $800,000 below the league's assigned slot value for that selection. On top of signing Townsend, the Cubs also reached agreements with 4 additional college pitchers. Carson Jasa from Nebraska, selected in the 3rd round. Dylan Mariano from Northwestern State, taken in the 4th round. Cole Triba, selected in the 7th round. And Luke Allwood, drafted in the 10th round. Jasa also signed below slot, agreeing to a $750,000 bonus. Cubs fans, if you're watching the Northsiders every single day, hit that like button right now. While those pitchers are officially under contract and ready to begin their development in the minor leagues, the front office remains laser-focused on negotiations with 2 extremely important second-round selections, Caden Sorrell and Miles Bailey. The combined slot value for those 2 picks sits at approximately $2,600,000, and the clock is ticking. The Cubs have until 4 o'clock in the afternoon on July 27th to officially finalize those contracts with Major League Baseball. Here's my take on saving those $800,000 with Cade Townsend. This isn't being cheap. This is pure strategy. I've followed Jed Hoyer's draft approach for years, and I'm convinced that money already has a destination. Whenever I see this front office save money on an early pick, I know the goal is to convince tougher signability prospects to skip college and turn pro. When I look at Caden Sorrell and Miles Bailey, who still haven't signed, I have a hard time believing that's a coincidence. I think that extra money is about to land right on the negotiating table to make sure both hitters end up wearing Cubs blue instead of heading back to school. From my perspective, signing Townsend below slot doesn't diminish anything he's accomplished at Ole Miss. If anything, it strongly suggests both sides had a handshake agreement well before Commissioner Rob Manfred stepped to the podium and announced his name. This deal looks like it was mapped out months in advance. The MLB draft bonus system isn't simple, but the numbers explain exactly why teams operate this way. For 2026, the Cubs have an assigned bonus pool totaling $9,644,100. If they exceed that amount by up to 5%, they pay a significant luxury tax. But if they go beyond that 5% threshold, they begin losing future draft picks, something no organization wants to risk. Historically, the Cubs have been willing to spend every dollar available, even paying the tax when necessary, proving just how committed they are to building talent through the farm system. The best recent example came during the 2025 draft. The Cubs signed first-round pick Ethan Conrad for roughly $1,200,000 below slot. That savings allowed Chicago to offer Josiah Hartshorn an incredible $2 million bonus in the sixth round. The slot value for Hartshorn's selection was only about $355,000. That massive overslot offer convinced him to skip college. Today, he's already the number 2 prospect in the Cubs organization and has climbed into Major League Baseball's top 100 prospects. If the Cubs repeat that same blueprint with Townsend and Jasa in 2026, the organization could once again shock the baseball world by handing out massive bonuses to later-round picks, strengthening one of baseball's best farm systems and helping secure the next generation of stars who'll someday take the field at the friendly confines. I completely trust this process. As someone who follows this team every single day and spends countless hours tracking everything happening around Wrigleyville, I know today's game demands this kind of financial discipline. The Cubs aren't just drafting players. They're playing the entire system better than most organizations in baseball. Keep your eyes peeled over the next few weeks, because I truly believe we're heading toward a major announcement involving Caden Sorrell and Miles Bailey, and this extra bonus pool money could be exactly what gets both deals across the finish line. The plan is already in motion, and we'll be covering every single development right here. So if you don't want to miss a thing happening on the north side, subscribe to WRIGLEY Report, turn on those notifications, and join the best Cubs community around. Thanks for watching. And as always, go Cubs!